on? Welcome to Maxim Foods Inside Track. It's been a sad couple of days, or a sad start to the week up here in Brisbane. Both the beloved Lions in the AFL and also Brisbane Broncos just narrowly going down in their respective grand finals. Congratulations to the teams that won. I'm not going to bring it to myself to mention their names, but good on them. Let's have a look at the dairy market. Let's have a look at whole milk powder. So we've seen the third consecutive uptick in pricing on the GDT, 4.8% last night up. This was in line with the futures market. It was predicting a bit further uptick. However, sentiment is that demand is improving. In terms of supply, we saw August milk production in New Zealand down 2%, so that has sparked on the sentiment and has sparked on some demand. In terms of further out, we see pricing flattening and demand flattening, so it is still yet it's still yet to be seen that there'll be further heating in that pricing. I suspect that the next 3 to 4 months will probably be reasonably flat, but it is good to see for the New Zealand farmers that it's definitely upticked from that base of a month ago. Having a look at skim milk powder, so if we look at it globally, in the EU we've seen some relatively good firming there in the last 2 to 3 weeks, pricing up to Euro sort of 2600 most recently, coming from a base of about 2000 ex-works only 2 to 3 months ago. So that has been the lead globally. We've seen last night on the auction at a plus 6% there for New Zealand skim. So yeah, it looks as though skim had found its base. It is creeping up. Once again, a lot of short-term buying, and that pricing curve does flatten out towards the to the back of those contracts on GDT. However, yeah, it is promising to see a bit more firming and a bit more demand activity on skim milk powder. Having a look at butter, if we could look at it globally, in the US, butter pricing is very high. Supply reasonably tight and demand good. So especially in those in the short term, the outlook is that pricing will remain firm. If you look over in the EU, much similar to skim, pricing has strengthened over the last 2 to 3 weeks. So it's good to see more buying activity over there. In Australia and New Zealand, pricing still relatively flat, that it has been over the last 2 to 3 months. AMF shot up 3% and butter plus 1% on last night's auction, but it's still a relatively even keel with demand and supply at the moment for Australian and New Zealand product. Moving across to cheese, a bit of a mixed bag at the moment. In the EU, we've seen slightly bullish conditions on cheese, less production coming before their season kicks off, so there is less milk about and a bit of supply pressure over there. In the US, relatively stable. If we look over in Australia and New Zealand, demand has peeled off a little bit on cheese on the back of, especially in Australia, on the back of some lower retail numbers. So production has been quite healthy and demand down a little. So there is a bit of value in Australian and New Zealand cheese at the moment. In terms of a forecast, we are going into our holiday season, so we should see demand pick up. But yeah, good buying opportunity at the moment for Australian and New Zealand cheese. Finishing off with whey powder, we have seen a bit of an uptick in global demand on sweet whey. Lactose, as previously discussed, has gone from a very bearish condition to quite bullish at the moment, and that was quite a rapid change. In WPC and WPI and the protein side of things, continue to see that firming. That base had definitely been found a couple of months ago, so yeah, EU pricing continues to firm, and trailing that is American pricing. So yeah, in terms of a 3-month outlook on proteins, we should continue to see that supply tighten up and demand continue to remain strong. Thanks very much for listening to today's Inside Track. In a global summary, we do see supply in the EU, US starting to wane a little, which is sparking a bit of demand globally. Whether there's longevity in this demand and this uptick in pricing is yet to be seen. However, it'll be one to watch in coming months. Have a wonderful couple of weeks and look forward to seeing you again in a fortnight.